Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Julie and I am the author of the blog capturingwonderland.com. Today we're going to work in my oldest daughter's bedroom. I have been slowly but surely updating the room. We pulled out all of the old carpet, all of the old trim, painted the floor, which subsequently has to be repainted with something better. So I'm glad that I learned already that floor plate is not strong enough, but more on that later. We also installed brand new trim, installed a shiplap wall in the back, which has to be finished, obviously. I have to make a little door for our plumbing that goes into the bathroom there. We also, let's see, what did we do? Oh yeah, painted these walls. So today we are going to be working on pretty much just prep and paint and installing new trim, which means a whole lot of cutting, a whole lot of sanding, a whole lot of spackling holes, and then subsequently sanding all of that down. So it's all a process and I'm really excited to get finished in here. So my daughter, she's like counting down the days. She wants it done by her birthday, which is coming up in May. So I gotta get on it. So, I also have to touch up the ceiling and finish painting in areas that I did not like around the ceiling fan because I got bored of the project and I moved on, and that was like years ago. So lots to do. Let's get to it. I have mostly cleaned the bedroom. We've gotten everything except for this one bed out. So that's what I'm gonna start with. Let's just get this stuff out, get the rug rolled up, and then let's get to it. All right, I've been busy gathering tools. I've got my caulk gun. Praying I don't run out of caulk. I probably will. I'll probably need to go to the store and buy more. When I buy more wood, I got my speckle, a metal scraper. Not the one I wanted, but I can't find that one. I got some painter's tape and this thing's sandpaper. Yep, that. Makes it look so much more clean. It's all smooth. The transition between the trim and the wall of like the window frame, it looks so much better. And there's not as much of a gap on the top as there is in the middle, which is why I'm doing it, because it masks the fact that the window frame is so uneven. Just so uneven. And probably need to take this thing off. I'm not sure how to do that though. I think I just broke it. Well. If you do this, I hope that you're ready for an arm workout, because for reals. My arm. Oy. Okay, let me take a minute to explain the process here. I am using the painter's tape before I caulk around the edges because it is a colored wall versus white. So I'm not the best at caulking perfectly. So I wanted to make sure that I am not getting too much caulk on the pink walls. So I am leaving just the tiniest bit of space between the trim for the caulk line. And also I'm going to caulk before I paint, therefore there will be zero paint run. So little tip there for you. So one window down, I'm still gonna have to sand down the spackle that I used on the sides to make it really pretty. And then I'm gonna have to come in with a vacuum and suck up all of the dust. But let's move on to taping around the door frames because I have a feeling that's gonna be interesting. And also I have to tape along this wall over here, the transition from one wall to the other. So maybe I'll just go around the room. Also going to help me get a really super straight caulk line, which is going to be awesome. We were riding high. Do you remember? No one will deny. We were invincible, heading for the sky before we started falling. Now to get back to spackling and caulking. Prep work is typically the longer part of my projects, but that's because you basically have to choose where you want to put your energy. Do you want to prep, or do you want to spend a lot of time in cleanup and or doing it over again because you did it crappy the first time? I personally don't mind a little bit of cleanup. You're gonna have cleanup always, but there's a difference between not prepping and the cleanup, and usually in the cleanup of not prepping is a lot of redoing things because you made a mess of something you already did. So since I am not personally a fan of redundancy, I hate doing things over again, I do pretty thorough prep work because it makes the initial project, like the actual painting, so much easier and so much quicker and so much less mess. So do your proper prep, you will thank me later.
The darker the sky, the brighter the stars, shining upon wherever we are. No matter near, no matter far. The darker the sky, the brighter the stars.
I keep thinking to myself, maybe I'll just take a break. Maybe I'll just take a little break. I'll just take a short break. But I know myself, and I know I'm like super bored of this project already. I hate it. I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. Not my favorite thing to do. I had to hype myself up to do these projects. Like mentally prepare myself to do these projects because I know that I'm going to hate them. I know that I'm gonna get super bored with the process because there's like, I don't know. I have to trick myself into believing that I'm enjoying myself so that my brain won't convince me to stop. Because if I stop, I'm not going to want to start back up again. So these type of tasks can be really hard because they are mundane and my brain wants to just switch. It's part of the reason why these projects like never go 100% in the same order. Like I started on this window with the spackling, and then I did the tape, and then I did the tape on the other windows, and now I'm going back to do the spackling because I have to kind of trick myself into believing it's a new task so that I can keep going. So spackling is done over here. I think I'm probably gonna do caulking last because it makes a giant mess and I have to get some paper towels for that. So I just have what I can do with the frame over here. These transitions between the wood and the regular door frame is looking pretty good. So I'm happy at least with the progress that I am making here. Happy with it. So, all right, let's see where I'm gonna start here. Probably on this side. You can't really see anything from this angle. I don't know how you could anyway. I think my head would be in the way. Okay, hate is a strong word, so I just really don't like this project. Like, it's not my favorite. Nope, it's not my favorite. There are stories. And just in case you're wondering, I have to fill all the holes, all the nail holes on this whole wall. So I guess I should do that now. Dang it. Well, I was almost done mentally. All right, let's see how fast I can get these done. Holy moly! It's time to, what should I do first? Sand, I guess? Sand? Sounds good. Sounds, well, I mean, doesn't sound particularly fun, but I'll do it. I'll do it if I have to. And I do have to, so. Apparently forgot a spot. ideally, you should probably be wearing a respirator before you do this stuff because, you know, it's super dusty. But, you know, do what I say, not what I do. Okay. Get yourself a mask of some sort so that you're not breathing in all this dust. Alexa, play. Okay, well, the other places are not dry yet, so I'm gonna get the vacuum, suck up what dust I've got so far, and then start caulking. So, gotta move on, do what we can do when we can do it. Gross, 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 gross. All right, I'm back at it today. Yesterday I collapsed and that was it for the day. And even today I have been putting off working on this job because it's just all encompassing. So I'm gonna try to tackle a small project. I would like to get this little door space figured out right here and also the upper trim. I have to put trim up there because I accidentally installed the shiplap from the ground up instead of from the top, like from the ceiling down, which is how I should have installed it. So I'm having to kind of frame it out, which is fine. It's just, you know, my eye is just twitching. It's fine. So, and then I think I'm gonna start cutting the other pieces of trim so that I am aware how much trim I have to still buy from the store. Because the last time that I went and purchased a whole bunch of 1x4s, they actually had just a handful left, and so I took the very best of what they had, but there's probably quite a bit more that I still have to buy. Let's get started. I need to get my measuring tape again. I have misplaced it. I swear I need a keeper. My tools are literally everywhere. So 68.5 by 11.75. So I'm not gonna bring you outside because that's just a hassle. And also, yeah, it's a hassle. That's pretty much my only excuse. So I'll be back when I cut the wood. Okay, so hopefully these fit because I cut them wrong way. I measured them from the wrong part of the angle, and so they ended up being way too small. So please, Lord, I am obviously going to have to buy more wood because now I have wasted 2 1x4s. Need more nails, but that's the gist of it. All that work just to frame out the door. Now I still need to build the door. So, yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty though so far. Just the frame of the cute little door that's going in there. And now, of course, you know this means I have to spackle all those holes. That's all I can do for tonight. I need more caulk, I need more wood, and there's something else. Oh, more brad nails because I'm gonna need a lot of them for the trim. A lot. See you later. All right, new day. I went out and bought more wood, so today is processing day. So let's go outside and process some 1x4x8s to make them ready for becoming trim. After I process, I can then come in here and start measuring out all the trim for this area. So, super exciting. All right, so I'm going to assume 1, 2, 3 of the walls are going to be at least one full piece, which is 96 inches long. So I'm just going to cut an angle at the top so that they flow better. So I'll cut an angle this way at 45 degrees. And of course, keeping in mind which is the nice side that you're planning on facing out. Is 139. And this is 95 inches. 139 minus 95. I need one that is 44 inches. Okay, I'm gonna go see if these fit. I'll be right back. It was slightly off like I knew it would be, but that's okay. So I'm gonna get all the pieces cut and dry fit, and then I'm gonna mark them and bring them out to sand them before I install them. I have been sparing you the ridiculous amount of times that I've had to recut some of these pieces of wood. Whenever I have to do angles, guys, here's my advice to you. If you have scrap pieces of wood, use them first, because remembering at what part to cut the angle sometimes can be extremely tricky, especially if you've got a group of kids screaming like banshees on a trampoline behind you while you're trying to think. So I've had to recut some things multiple times. Thankfully, most of it was scrap pieces. So now I'm at the point where I can now start sanding all of the pieces down. So I went ahead and I marked all of my pieces of wood on the back side, and I numbered them according to what number, like place in the wall I took them out. So I started at 1 and I went all the way to number 10. So there are 10 pieces of trim just on the floor. And this is a ceiling trim that I had to cut again because the bottom, the floor, was different than the ceiling. So, and I didn't measure it because I'm dumb. So don't ever assume that your floor is the same wall. Like, even if it's the same wall, don't ever assume that the bottom is the same at the top, because typically speaking, it will not be. And then you will find yourself recutting even after you've already sanded the piece. So take my advice, don't do what I do, do what I say. I'm gonna pray to God it fits this time. Don't need none of your guff. None of it.
But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Now we get the fun of installing it all. Okay, since I am not installing any flooring before I'm installing my trim, I need to be able to install my trim evenly above the floor, about 1/2 inch. So I cut myself some little stopping blocks that I'm gonna rest my trim on before I attach it to the wall, so that the entire trim is 1/2 inch off the floor. So when we want to have carpet installed, none of the trim has to be uninstalled to do that. And if we want to do hardwood, we'll just have to stay within that realm, or something thinner. I don't know that there is anything thinner than 1/2 inch for hardwood. But in any case, we could use quarter round on top to hide any gaps if there were. So definitely use a spacer when installing trim before you have flooring on, so that it's prepared. All right, let's get these first pieces on. I need piece 3 and 4.
Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself.
All right, that's all I'm gonna do for tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I can get to building a little door for right there, and then prepping all of this trim for paint. Okay, so paint prep for the new trim that was just put in, which means I'm going to have to tape. I don't have to tape on this wall because this wall is being painted white, so I can caulk that and I don't have to worry about it. But the rest of it on the pink walls will have to be taped with the painter's tape, and then I can caulk it from there. I also have to do a few touch-ups with a spackle, obviously, to cover any nail holes and also any giant gouges in the wood. Since it is common lumber, it's not the prettiest, so there might be a few places that need to be filled in with spackle. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into that, probably working on this wall first, since it will be easiest. put in some new caulk here.
I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break.
Okay, I've done what I can, and now it is time to tape around the flooring for the other stuff. Oi! And I often forget to move the camera, so, but it's okay. I'm sure you guys don't need to see like every single bit of me caulking and filling holes with spackle and taping the floor. It's a long, arduous process, but the better the prep, the better the outcome. So as I continue to grow my skills, I am trying to be aware of that because I do want it to be high quality. I don't want it to be junk. The reason why I'm using the good supplies is because I want it to be good quality. I don't want it to be junk. So, oh my gosh, you can tell I didn't get very good sleep last night. I look awful. I digress. Take your time. Be patient with the process because in the end, it will be worth it. That's what I keep telling myself. It'll be worth it in the end. When I finish the house and we can sell it, and we'll be leaving a beautiful updated house for the next person. So I know how disappointed I was when I first realized the extent of what needed to be done in this house. When you think to yourself when you're buying a house, oh, it's just cosmetic. Sure, it's just cosmetic. But every single thing, like just being cosmetic, doesn't mean that it's not expensive, doesn't mean that it's not gonna take a long time to fix it or update it or a lot of money. Like cosmetic stuff costs a lot of money too. So when you're buying a house for the first time, don't just pass things off because they're just cosmetic. Factor in the costs, factor in the time, factor in the mess, especially if you're gonna have to live in it. Like obviously we've been updating this house like almost a decade now, a little bit here, a little bit there, and we've had to live in the mess. So our house has never functioned properly. So that is a lot of chaos, especially when you consider the amount of people that we now have in our house, which is 7 people. So imagine 7 people with their stuff constantly being in some stage of chaos because we just have never had a fully functional house with storage and places to put things and enough space for all the people that live in here. I mean, when we moved in, we only had 2 kids, so we had an overabundance of space, but that changed quickly. Like it didn't feel quickly, but it did feel quickly because you begin to feel being squashed in the space. And it's not a fun feeling. It's not a fun feeling when you look around and you're like, everything is a mess. And you have little kids that don't have room to play because everything is a mess. Because you can't just put stuff back. Like, I can't even imagine how many years it would take me if I were to have to move the furniture in and out of this bedroom every single time I did a part of the project. That would be insane. So you have to live in a mess while you're doing it just for the sake of time. Like, it would probably take me another 2 decades to finish it if I had to completely put the room back together every single time I did something. And because I'm doing everything myself and it's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna give it a coat of paint. It takes weeks or months sometimes, especially when you consider the budgetary side of it. Like I can't just afford to go out and buy all the stuff all at the same time. I have to do it in increments. So one paycheck we may be able to afford all the trim, the next paycheck we buy the paint, the next paycheck we buy whatever else needs to be bought for it. So it's just a process, and it can be a long and arduous process and a stressful one. So just be aware when you're buying your first house to think about all of those things. Because I know I was not prepared. And I feel like that could be like my life biography. That would be literally what I would title my biography if I were to write one someday or make a video about my hilarious life, would be I was not prepared. Yeah, pretty much sums it up. Okay, now that I have talked a very long time, I'm gonna get to work. All right, I am covered in dust because I have been finishing up the last of the prep sanding down the last of the spackle for the trim. And now it has come time to make the tiny little door for my water closet. So I went and measured it again because I just want to be sure to know exactly what I'm working with. And I went and checked the upper and the bottom board. I checked those to make sure, and we're all good. So now it's just filling in the center of these two boards, basically, and then putting it together with my Craig jig. So they are slightly too big for the hole, just very, very slightly, mostly because they have to be able to move with hinges on them. So I'm going to ever so slightly cut them down just a little bit, and then we're gonna work on cutting the other boards and making sure that they fit in this space right here. So I might have to cut one down with my table saw. We shall see. And I need to find my cord. I'm thinking of trying something different than what I did in my laundry closet. So bear with me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I might experiment a little bit here, just so I don't have to use so many 1x4s. I'm thinking of cutting a groove and cutting a piece of hardwood to fit in 2 different panels in the door. That's what I'm considering doing right now, and I think I'm gonna do it. So let's try getting fancy. I'm gonna kind of put it together down here, and what I'm working with here. Okay, the time has come to get some hardboard out and see if we can't get it in there. Sounds good to me. I think it's kind of cute. Ish. These need to be slightly larger, so I'm gonna adjust my table saw and put it back through again to make the holes, the slots, just a tiny bit bigger. But first I'm just gonna finish with the hardwood. This is the reason why it's a good thing to use scrap wood, because when you are doing something you've never done before, you will make mistakes, and you have to allow yourself to make those mistakes. Otherwise, you will always be afraid to try new things. So thankfully I have a lot of this hardboard, so hopefully I can find some way to use these small pieces in the future. But this is also a test for building my own closet doors, so for the future. Okay, it's finally done. Now to sand it so that it can be put together. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. Oh, look at it. Thank goodness it fits, because I would have cried, y'all people. I didn't show you the rest of the process of the door because I had to go out into the yard to sand because it's cold, and that was where the sun was, and I only had one cord to get my sander out there. So couldn't take the camera, but it took me a long time, like an hour at least, to get the door together, because it was sanding each individual piece and then putting glue in and putting it all back together. But first, of course, I had to use my Craig jig. And guys, I just want you to know that I have used my Craig jig a lot, and I still have to read the directions every single time because I'm not 100% positive that I'm doing it right. So just to make you feel better, if you feel like you're not getting the hang of something, you can do something like 1,000,000 times, and yeah, you still have to read the directions. So that was fun, and I got it all together. and it fits, thankfully, but some of the pieces are not like perfectly like together, so I'm going to use a little bit of spackle right now, and then I'm going to start painting. So I have to buy hinges for it, but I'm not going into town tonight, and I want to paint because if I get to the point where I need more paint, then I can also get paint at the same time as I get the hinges tomorrow. So it's just smarter to do it this way. So I'm going to spackle the door and then move it and then start painting the trim. So I cannot believe it has taken me this long to get this far. Oh my gosh. It feels like it should be just a really simple task, like everything does. It feels like, oh, it's just installing the trim. Yeah, well, days later. I really overfilled in some spots, but it's fine because I can just sand it down smooth. So it's a nice thing about wood putty or... Okay, time to get the painting stuff out, y'all. I'm gonna start with the trim and then work my way out. Okay, that's a single coat of all of the trim, and it took forever, like hours. So I am starving to death, and I think that that is all that I'm going to do tonight. I think I'm going to do tomorrow. I think I'm going to do more tomorrow. And I truly do think that I'm going to need another can of paint. So it's good to know that ahead of time, unless I can look around in my stash and I find another half-used one, I suppose, is a possibility. So, okay, and I still have the door to paint, and I have another idea for the door as well, but I'll get to that. So, next day, I'm going to get over to this door. I will also point out that after the first coat, it's really easy to see where you have missed spackling. It's a great opportunity to spackle in places that you missed. So I've already done that. I went around the room and I put just a tidbit of spackle in some spaces that I missed to get a better second coat. So let's go ahead and cover this door. Truth is I'm procrastinating because I really don't want to paint. That's the truth, 100%. I just really don't want to paint. It makes my hand cramp. I just have rolling to do, so I'm gonna install the door. So I'm getting the hinges. I have marked the spot where the hinges go. I measured 6 inches down on both sides, 6 inches down and then 6 inches up so that they would be even spacing. And then I'm just going to pre-drill the holes. So I marked the placement where the screws go in each spot just so I'm over here now. I think I like this little knob. It's just a little flower. I've had it for forever. Got it from Hobby Lobby in case you're interested. It's where I get most of my hardware. Actually, like all of it, because they have such a good selection, and when they're half price, they're really great price. Not a perfect door by any means, but it doesn't have to be. It's literally not going to be used, but when we absolutely have to get in there to work on plumbing. So it's literally just for looks. And I may do something else decorative to it to make it look really pretty. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. I just knew I needed something to cover up that ugly hole. That works. All right. These tools can be put away, and then I'm gonna get to painting this big wall because that is literally all that is left in this painting escapade thing. Yay. Can't even tell you how happy I am about that because I'm over it. I was just in between painting the wall and I got a message from a friend saying congratulations because I made 1,000 subscribers and I am very close to my watch hours to get monetized here on YouTube. I think I'm about 100 watch hours away. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone here that's a part of this community here at Capturing Wonderland. Everyone here that has been such an amazing support and community for me. But that being said, now I have to get back to work because I'm almost done painting. But I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for everyone here for showing up. I show up, but you guys show up too. So I'm extremely grateful for you and I feel very blessed. So thank you, and let's get back to painting. Next day, and I am wrapping this video up. The bedroom is not 100% complete, but it is really close. I have to paint around the ceiling fan, figure out this hole in the ceiling mess, and then replace her vent. I have a closet door situation to figure out, as well as her curtain situation. And then we have other things like her door needs to be repainted. Door paint, turns out the paint was not very good quality. I would repaint the floor, but I just really don't care. It's good enough. It's just a temporary solution, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then just a few last things. I have those two. I apparently didn't order enough covers for them. So I gotta order that. So the next video in this series, doing my tween girls bedroom, is probably going to be the finishing up touches of this bedroom and getting her all moved in. She's so excited. Her birthday is in the beginning of May and she asked me to have it finished by then, so that's what I'm trying for. So this was a long, arduous process like they all are, but it's a beautiful transformation. Absolutely beautiful. And it really looks classy, I think. So I'm really happy with the color pink. I am really happy that it matches well with her rug, which was a $50 Facebook Marketplace find, and it's not like perfect condition, but it works well and it covers up a good portion of her flooring. So I am loving the trim, loving the shiplap wall. I think it just makes it so much brighter in here and clean feeling. So she's gonna really love living in this room. And once I get all of the details put together, it'll just be all that much better. I do have several furniture pieces of hers. I have a beautiful antique vanity that I'm going to be looking into what I'm gonna do with it. I don't really wanna strip it and I don't wanna paint it. So we'll see what that entails. It may just be a cleanup and I don't even know. I don't know, we'll see. She has an antique bed that is coming in here and I don't know if that needs any work on it. We'll see when that comes in, and then we have to figure out a side table situation. I have 2 Martha Washington sewing cabinets that I want to use as side tables, so that might what goes over here. Martha Washington sewing cabinets are ingenious for side tables, and when we get to that video, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why and why I was obsessed with finding them, because yeah. So all of the detail work, all of the fun stuff that I actually look forward to, that I don't get to do until the room is completely finished. So it's the prize at the end of all the hard work. Whew. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching all the way through. If you've made it this far, bless you. And thank you for supporting my channel. And if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, I would love it if you would be a part of the community here at Capturing Wonderland. And, well, I have lots more fun coming up. Obviously, I have to start my littlest daughter's bedroom. That's next to this one. My 5 and 3-year-old's bedroom. It's going to be a Princess Delight, a fairy tale bedroom, and I can't wait to get started on that. I'd also like to get started back up on my bathroom, the guest bathroom that's literally right next to this one. And you'll never believe what I want to do in there. So we've got lots more projects coming up, as well as today is the library book sale. So expect a book haul coming up as well. So thanks again, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.